Hello class and welcome to lesson 1.6 cosine law. Last class we were looking at sine law, which is a law you use when you've got an oblique triangle. That's one way to solve an oblique triangle. The second one is when you have a cosine law. Okay, so narrow it down. First of all, make sure that you realize that cosine law is used when you have an oblique triangle, therefore it can't be 90 degrees, and when you cannot use the sine law, so where there's no match. Okay, so in this situation, in this method, there's only two ways where your triangle will look familiar that you can use the cosine law. So we call it method one, which is SAS, is that side, angle, side. Okay, so basically you're given this, so maybe this is 2 meters, maybe this is 5 meters, and they give you this angle. So it's a contained angle, it's inside, and say that might be, 120 degrees. The question would be then to find the opposite side, okay, of the given angle. So again, a contained angle is in between the two given sides. Okay, that's one case. The other case is where you're given all three sides. So let's say 10 millimeters and 5 millimeters, and let's say 15 millimeters. Okay, and again, you're given all three sides and you need to find an angle. So just take a stack at these diagrams, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, both of the diagrams are not 90-degree triangles, right triangles, so you can't use Pythagorean theorem, you can't use SOHCAHTOA or primary trig ratios. Next, try to find a match. So in the first example, side, angle, side, you do not have any match whatsoever, and you cannot find a match because you don't have enough information. And the second one, you've got all side lengths at no angles, so there's impossible for you to get a match. All right, so what we need to do is then, hey, use the cosine law. And the cosine law, ladies and gentlemen, has two different formulas, one for the angles, which are here, and again, you're only going to use really one of them, but we show three of them because there's three sides or three angles in a triangle. And again, I'll give you one formula, so probably this first one, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be given on your test, okay, for you to use, okay? And the other two are just a product of it. How we arrive at this formula is it's a combination of Pythagorean theorem and sine law with breaking a median or a height down here for 90 degrees and then comparing those two triangles. So you don't need to get into the theorem of it. I just wanted to explain it in case you were wondering where it came from. All you need to do is to remember how to substitute in. The key to remember here is when you're looking for a certain angle, it's the opposite side that needs to be subtracted. So make that a match, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's try this example one, this first triangle here. It says to determine the indicated angle. And again, this shouldn't be anything new since it's been used last couple of years. So let's take a look here. So what we need to find as indicated is we need to find the cos of C. Okay, so taking a look here, folks, cos of C equals your B side, which is 15 squared, plus your C side, which is 7 squared, subtract A squared, which is subtract 11 squared. Again, that's your opposite. My fault, I got to back up here, for example. Okay, sorry, erase, my fault. I was looking at the wrong one. So back that up. We're looking at this one. So my fault, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's try that. So A is 11 squared plus B side, which is 15 squared, subtract C squared, which is your opposite side. That's how I could tell I made an error in the beginning. Okay, divided by 2 times your first two numbers. Okay. All right, so then I just grab a calculator, ladies and gentlemen. I make sure I'm in degree mode, and I go 11 squared plus 15 squared minus 7 squared equals 297 divided by 2 times 11 times 15 equals 330. Just remember, folks, that's still the cos of C. So to find the angle, remember you've got to use your inverse buttons in your calculator. So cos inverse equal the angle C equals the cos inverse, my apologies, of that fraction, 297 over 330. Okay, solving that through, you're going to get the angle to the nearest degree is going to be 26 degrees. Okay, so again, it's plugging in your calculator and remembering how to use your inverse buttons. So that's an example of finding an angle. Let's now explore on the second page how to find a side length. And again, this should be review, so hopefully this isn't a higher level of difficulty for you. All right. So again, looking at finding a side length, ladies and gentlemen, again, there's a ratio or connection between the side you're finding and the opposite angle. Okay? All right. So let's take a look here, ladies and gentlemen. So it says determine the length of B. So we're going to find B here. Okay, so effectively we're using that relationship there. So B squared equals A squared, which is 6 squared, plus C squared, which is 5 squared, subtract 2 times 6 times 5 times the cos of the given angle, which is 125 degrees. Okay. So we can do this in our using our calculator. So 6 squared plus 5 squared is, well, 36 plus 25 is 61. And then you've got to be careful here. Subtract, and when we plug this in our calculator, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to notice that you get a negative value here. Okay, so let me just grab my graphing calculator. Okay, make sure you're in degree mode. Okay, let's plug it in. So it's going to be 2 times 6 times 5 times cos of 125. Okay, and in this case, I get negative 378.56. The key is I knew it was negative, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever have a cos value greater than 90 degrees, you are going to have a negative value. Just remember, because here's where an error occurs, a negative times a negative gives you a positive. Okay, and then you simply add your 61 to it. Okay. All right. Let me just double check this, folks. I apologize. I'm hemming to run into an error here. Sorry, delay. Okay. I apologize. I pressed my buttons in the calculator wrong, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to back up here. It is negative, but it's not that big of a number, okay? So I just double checked it here, and it was negative 34.41. Again, I'm sorry, guys. It's tough when I'm doing these lessons and I haven't taught the course yet, so I'm just trying to do it at the same time. That makes a little more sense. So when you add it, it's going to be 34.41, and then you'd end up with 95.41. And remember, folks, that's still b squared. So how do you get b by itself? You need to take the square root of both sides. So b equals the square root of 95.41. So b equals approximately 9.8 centimeters. All right, that's a refresher on cosine law. And here's your homework, ladies and gentlemen, your workbook, page 20 to 21, 1A, 2A, 5, 9, and 10. Have a great day, and I'm sorry for that calculation error, guys. My fault. I'll try to improve on that and make that less frustrating for you. Okay, have a great day, guys, and again, come see me if you need some help with this. Bye-bye.